Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to round 4 of the 2019 Newstead Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup. My name is Martin Lippiett, and this afternoon we are live from Bond University, the home of the Bond Uni Bull Sharks, for their clash with East. With only one win so far this season, Bond are looking to bounce back from their round 3 loss to Jeeps last weekend. With one up and one down this season, East, fresh off the bye, have travelled down the M1, still riding high after their sodden round 2 victory against the reigning premiers, Jeeps. Remember, folks, Queensland Rugby has increased its coverage of Premier Rugby in 2019 with all 4 matches streamed live and free via redsrugby.com.au. Joining me in commentary today, current Queensland Women's 15 assistant coach and Bond University 7's head coach, Setu Nasseri, and rugby tragic Dan Beryl. Gentlemen, welcome to the live stream this afternoon down on the Gold Coast. How are we?
Good, thanks, Marty. Thanks for having us along.
Yeah, definitely, Marty. Really excited for a great afternoon of footy. The sun's just peeking through the clouds now. Perfect weather, not too hot, not too cold, just right for football.
Well, Seth, I'm going to get started with you, mate. Momentum rolling over from the fantastic finish 2018 season. This year we've seen plenty of promise from these Bond players. What positives are really standing out for you so far?
Well, mate, I just look at round 1 against Brothers, who obviously are top of the table at the moment, and went down in a close one, but there was early signs that there is a strong I suppose, presence and dynamic building at the Bond Club. And I've been fortunate enough, obviously with my Sevens commitments, that we're mixing with the Premier guys or first grade guys on a Monday night and seeing that there's a really strong culture and dynamic building there. And I think with Brad Harris at the helm and still having last year's coaches and Grant Anderson and Ray Thomas involved, that there's obviously a continuance in what they were building at the back end of 2018.
Well, 9 wins from the final 10 matches. You've got to be doing something right for those kinds of numbers. And now, Dan, in addition to the regular season, you know, imports and exports and some of the last-minute injuries and retirements, there are a lot of new faces lining up for East this year. Who's impressing you?
Yeah, Marty, I mean, I've followed a format of something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. In the old, we've got Matty Gordon at 13, obviously a bit of a stalwart for East, played City last year. He's impressed in the first couple of games, leading from the front as skipper. Something new, Reece Van Neck's come across from South, really versatile across the front row, obviously as a hooker preferably, but he can play anywhere from 1 to 3, so he's been excellent. Something borrowed is Eli Pills, who's playing at 10. He went down and did a couple of years, as we know, in Shoot Shield, has just come back and really impressed in the first 2 games, kicking the Tigers to victory over Jeeps in round 2. And then something blue, Tom Milosevic at 7. Just a stalwart again as well, similar to Matt Gordon. He's been a club captain, a Premier grade captain, and bleeds blue.
Does everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does.
We'll throw it back to you, Setu. Corbin Kiernan in 2018, obviously integral for what was considered one of the best backlines. The season started well, but with that shoulder dislocation last week, mid-try, mind you, how much of a loss is he for the home side, and is he out for the season?
Look, mate, there was an immediate impact for Bond as soon as he went off. Like, he went off, and when the game was up, you know, they were up 15 zip. So there is obviously a void to fill, but I think they're pretty confident with the Far North Coast combo and Dan Boardman and Joey Fiddick.
But the other part of that question, I heard rumours that he might be making a return this season. They're just waiting on a few things medically. Can you confirm or deny?
I've heard the same rumours.
Whoa, we love rumours.
I've definitely heard the same rumours. I think Corbin himself wants to get back. You know, he still wants to be a part of 2019. But I think everyone else is probably not so optimistic. Well,
while we're on it, we'll stick with you, Setu. We're going to go to the players to watch. And massive impact that this man has had at number 10 for the Bull Sharks, Dion Taumata.
Yeah, but some people see Dion as a bit of an enigma, but he's undoubtedly talented. He's obviously played Premier Rugby across 2 clubs, and both Bond and Sunnybank, and played a steady hand in both clubs, doing really well when they've had purple patches. Queensland country experience, obviously, in NRC. Been part of the Reds program previously, and then well-travelled as getting international experience as well. So he's definitely important as a game manager for Bond if they're going to do well today.
And we'll keep it on the 10s train. Eli Pills, you spoke briefly about him just before. Run me through a bit more about him.
Yeah, I mean, he's started his return to Tigerland this season, playing at 10. He's pretty versatile, similar to a few of the other players I've mentioned before. Can play 9 or 10. He has really well replaced Jack Frampton, who injured his arm in trials. Played under 20s for Queensland as well, and he slotted that memorable penalty from 40 out against Jeeps to sort of avenge their preliminary final loss at the end of last season, which was excellent in round 2.
Well, let's stick with the great man. Ahead of today's clash, our resident sideline reporter, Brendan Sauce Hotel, spoke with East's prodigal son and fly half, Eli Pills, during the week. Let's have a look.
Pilsy, how are the East boys shaping up coming into this clash with Bond off the bye?
Yeah, good. The boys are fresh. Intensity's up at training and real positive after the win against Jeeps. I think it's much needed, especially after round 1. We died away in the last 20, so it's been good.
And mate, you're back from a couple of seasons down at Shute Shield. How are you enjoying being back at Tigerland?
Oh, mate, there's nothing like it. The grandstand get up on Saturday Arvo, and it's nothing quite like it, and nothing's changed since I left. So.
And what are you guys expecting out of Bond, mate? Obviously, they're ever improving in Prem Rugby and have put in some solid performances so far this year.
Yeah, they're got a big pack, so it's going to be a big physical game up front. So we're going to have to win that battle. Yeah, they've gotten a lot better. They got good halves, controlling the game well. So yeah, we'll have to be switched on to get one over them.
Right, well, best of luck, Pilsy.
Thank you.
Wonderful stuff there from the East number 10. But while we're on the matter of impressing, looking to impress but need the car to match, head on down to Bond's major sponsor, Bruce Litton Land Rover and Jaguar in Southport today. From Range Rovers to F-Types, they've got you covered. An East major sponsor, the Cromwell Property Group, are a trusted capital partner and fund manager to a range of global and local investors. With their strong track record, have you considered investing with Cromwell? Now, with formalities well and truly done, we are going to get right into these team lists. We are going to start with the home side. Sed, who take us through it?
Yeah, so on the front row for Bond this afternoon, we have Andrew Patello, Jack Winchester and Will Slipper. Kieran Van Brecht and Seaball, Callum Ball will be locking the second row. Luke Packworth, Connor Pritchard and Zaki Moy will be the back row for Bond. In the backs, our game managers will be Harry Nusafora and Dion Taumata. In the midfield, we have Dan Boardman and Joey Fiddick. And out wide in our back three, Ryan Menzies, Jordan Hughes and Maxie Dowd.
And new coach this year, Brad Harrison. We're going to jump right over and we're going to get into this East lineup. Dan, run us through it.
Excellent. At the front row, we've got Carter Azan and Reece Van Neck with Sam Richards stabilising in the middle. Locking into second row, we've got Aidan Leeming and Philemoni Seravatu. On the fringes, we've got Henry Olsen, Thomas Milosevic, and at the back, Sarah Uru. They're 9 and 10 are Phoenix Hunt and Eli Pills today. A really young but confident pairing, so looking forward to see what they produce. Lee Matanga and Riley Cooper on the edges of the wing. Matt Gordon and Landon Hayes are in the midfield. And at the back, Shane Kennedy rounds out in number 15 with Moses Raulini as the head coach.
Shane Kennedy, geez, hasn't he been around for a few rotations around the sun for this side? Now, while we've got a quick moment here, let's have a look at the current table with all of the teams, gentlemen, and we'll reminisce a bit on the weeks that have gone past. Now, Bond, narrow defeats to Brothers and Jeeps last week, but they did get the win against UQ in the middle, and it's keeping them sitting pretty at fourth, currently on 6 points. So a win today and a loss for University will get them up. They're either going to be coming equal third or they're going to push their way up a little bit higher, depending on how the Battle of the West goes between West and University. Bit of a different story for East. They went down to UQ in the first round, but then picked up, I would say, Jens, probably one of the biggest wins in round 2 against the reigning premiers.
Yeah, most definitely. They were quite impressive. A little bit of water and rain on the pitch that afternoon, and for Eli to kick the boys to victory in the last couple of minutes was really impressive. And as I said, it was giving them an opportunity to avenge the loss in the preliminary final last year. And
I have to put this question out to both of you. Of the last 8 encounters since 2015, obviously East have got 5 of the wins and Bond have taken away 3. Head-to-head, Bond averaged 22 points to East 24. Pretty close rivalry.
Yeah, most definitely. I think what I've noticed when these two teams come up against each other is we get a chance to see some running rugby. It's quite free in the backs, especially when the weather's like this as well. It gives the opportunity for the forwards to get some momentum and actually spin the ball wide and see what the backline players can do. It's quite exciting. Well,
said obviously the last time these teams met was last year in round 13, and Bond got the win at Tigerland, 22 points to 17. You think that'll be floating a little bit of confidence for the boys coming into the match today?
Oh, definitely, but this fixture is a whole new contest, and that won't be lost on Brad and his troops for this afternoon. And, you know, as you pointed out, they're always titanic tussles between these two sides.
And we're moments away from it here, and we'll talk about some of these individual matchups looking across the board. There's a lot of pedigree in both sides. I think there's going to be a really big battle in the front rows between this scrum time. But I'm really excited to see the matching in the centres and the backs, because you know, Dan Boardman and Joey Fiddick up against, you know, the tag team of Gordon and Hayes. It's a recipe for some pretty brilliant rugby.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think Matt Gordon, probably the most well-known of these four players. Lennon Hayes had a little bit of a journey with the Stockton team at the end of last year and did a tour. But both of those really good mates on and off the pitch, and I think that translates to when they play football together. It's a really solid combination. Dan Boardman, Joey Fiddick both played NRC Queensland Country at the end of last year, and I think they've come away with a lot more experience, a lot more confidence in their own abilities. Both of them pretty talented sevens players as well, and again, quite stable in terms of consistency throughout the season.
They're lining up there, the captains, Mr. Nisfora, Mr. Gordon will lead them out here. Round 4 action, seconds away. And there are some towering figures amongst both of these sides. It's going to be a very physical contest this afternoon. Bond had the lead over the reigning premiers last week, 15 points to 0. But then victory slipped through their fingers and the premiers came home pretty strong. So they're going to be wanting to try to save some face today, gentlemen.
Absolutely, yeah. As we touched upon earlier with the Corbin injury as well, Corbin Kiernan, it was just so unfortunate. I mean, he's landing awkwardly in the process of scoring a try. And from my understanding, the shoulder's sort of gone out and gone in. And then from there, I think the match just turned on its head a little bit. But they had all the momentum at that point. So they'll be itching for it this afternoon, especially in front of a good home crowd here at Bond. The pitch and the facility as always looks impeccable, so an exciting afternoon of rugby.
And refereeing this afternoon, Aaron Pook.
Gold Coast product as well, Aaron. He's come through the referee pathway and referee structures and ended up doing some NRC and some Aussie schoolboys last year too.
And we are away, round 4, 2019 Newstead Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup. And the Tigers, ball in hand inside. Pills fires it out to the left. Loose ball on the ground, and we're going to be gifted with our first scrum in the first 30 seconds, gentlemen. How do we think this one's going to play out?
Just a couple of early errors there as the teams sort of feel each other out. Young Tassie Van Brick there going up and just not taking the clean take, and obviously giving East a chance early on in this match.
Crouch. Boyne. Set.
Nisfora puts it in, the scrum simmers, but he'll fire it out.
Good run there from Dan Boardman. It was his sort of tenacious defensive forward that caused that error.
Taumata kicks it long, but it's fielded well. Now the Tigers beginning the counter-attack. Playing the territory game not very well. That kick is a bit of a coach killer.
Yeah, absolutely. A bit of an unfortunate mistake there for Shane Kennedy. He's normally very reliable on the boot. Massive boot as well. Unfortunately, yeah.
Now Bond with the line out, knocking on the door on the 22. Winchester fires it up. And ball nearly loses that one, but they hold on to it. It is regathered.
Absolutely, they made it work. It wasn't pretty, but it got the biscuits, which is good.
Andrew Catello there, slow to get up. Spent a season last year with Tasman Marcos in the ITM Cup.
There's a good run from Menzies. Moving to the right, Nisfora, a bit of a knock on there at the back, so the Tigers will get the ball back just outside their own 22.
Inside.
Looks like Will Slipper
A couple of errors early there from either side.
in their number 18 jersey.
Inside.
So East back to the line. Aaron Cook out in the middle.
Bind. Set.
Hunt waits for it at the back. Pills. Good run from Hayes.
Exciting to see this 19 combination. Here we go.
Penalty given away. That's reckless there. The Tigers inviting trouble. They're looking for 7. Bold. Very bold setting.
I don't know if Brad Harris would have sort of gone for the same call, but Dion Taumata, he's back in his troops.
Yeah, I think it was an instinctual move, wasn't it? He's picked up the ball and said, I'm sure what everyone else is doing, I'm going straight for the sideline. He does look fit though, Dion looks quite good.
Winchester will
How you got 2, mate? Harry.
feed another line out inside the 22 this time.
Another good opportunity here for the Bull Sharks. Probably a little bit too far.
They get the front. Van Breck gets it tall. They form the driving maul, but
Collapsing.
penalty going against the Tigers for collapsing it. Nusafora rallies them from the back. Hits Slipper. Little flat-footed, but they had the penalty advantage, so a bit of room to breathe, and now they'll cash in on that one.
Stop and take a moment here, Bond, and see what they'll get going for touch as well.
Yeah, more was set.
So the Tigers will be tested really early on here.
It's taken well. Bond setting it up. They splinter off to the right. Van Breck is getting monstered away by Henry Olsen. And here goes Moi Moi. Bond notching up the phase play right in front. Van Breck now. Nusafora. Taumata gets one out. Ball's lost forward. That'll be unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Bond will be disappointed they haven't come away with a couple of points there. I mean, they've had a real opportunity in the last couple of minutes, back-to-back penalties. So it's a good defence there from East.
Just really important when you get down into the screen zone to be able to convert. Joey Fiddick there trying to free his arms to find a long-standing teammate there in Ryan Menzies, who's just returned to Premier Rugby.
Well, quite the combination there in the centres. Obviously, Boardman and Fiddick both in the NRC last year. Boardman from south of the border, hails from Lennox. Joey Fiddick in his senior school years at TSS.
He's also, I think, grew up in the New South Wales as well and ended up coming out to TSS to board.
He's an Alstonville boy, so another far north coast product.
Well, I guess that's the interesting thing about the Bond Club, isn't it? It's the catchment that they have. It's actually quite far-reaching, and for a lot of those northern New South Wales boys that want to play in that better competition, it's worth the hour and a half drive to get up to Bond because it gives them opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. We're even pushing further south to the mid-north coast with our hooker, Jack Winchester, who's a Coffs Harbour product.
That's a long drive for 2 trainings a week.
Yeah, I was happy. Yeah, push to the mark first.
Geez, Bond would have to give him a company car for that.
100%. We're sponsored by Land Rover.
Sure. Mate, I think he'd probably prefer the Jag. Richards throws in his first. They hold on to it.
We've seen a couple of lineups like that earlier. I'm wondering if there's a little bit of moisture at all on the ball.
Cool conditions here. Shark Park. Hunt pulls it out. Now Pills. There's Gordon. Good fend. Gets the pass off under contact. They're pulling away on the left-hand side.
Lost.
Hunt fishing around for it. He goes back to that short side. Have they found some space? Pulling away cleanly. Phoenix Hunt supplying great ball. Really a player who came straight out of the school system after winning the premiership with Nudgee in 2017. A little green in his first year out, but really has flourished this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I was so impressed with him last year. I mean, he's come straight into Premier Rugby from round one last year and then followed it up with this year as well. He's in the junior Wallaby setup as well, and obviously the Reds Academy. But his ball and peel out of the back of that ruck is going to be essential if he's going to do some damage on the scoreboard today. He's a real, as you can tell, even his age really belies his experience there because he's so vocal as well. Both he and Eli are very happy to talk.
Taumata tries to put the clearance on, but it'll be scooped up by Kennedy. Hunt to the left.
Good field position here for East.
Tackle, release!
Slipper's got to get out of the way. Pills on the left. Fires the cutout. No look passing. Olsen tries to look for another offload under contact, but defenders are all too close. Pills cuts out. There's Van Neck. Van Neck gets a tremendous offload to Hayes. Back on the inside. He holds on to it. Phoenix Hunt just falls short. They're keeping this one alive, pulling away is Milosevic. The Tigers really hammering through with the continuity, and Gordon will crash over there. What a big result for East. From a very little opportunity, something really big came.
Yeah, look, you've got to take that back probably at least 5 minutes where they defended really well on their line, got a good rolling maul, got good field position, and off the back of that, they've converted that into points.
And Phoenix Hunt here now, great run. Just speaking about the young man about 30 seconds ago, and he's lighting it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think watching the build-up to that try as well, you can just see Easter really comfortable and happy to play some free running football this afternoon. Go to ground and try and look for those pops as well to get some quick momentum out the back.
Reece Van Neck with that excellent offload.
Yeah, hands at the back there.
Don't tell him that.
He seems to be really enjoying his first season at Tigerland as well. Really embracing the club culture that East are very well known for, and happy to slot in here across the road.
Let's go, mate.
And the former Noosa Dolphin finds the extras, and East take the lead early in the 11th minute, 7 points to 0. And Bond are going to wander back for the restart. Taumata sends it very deep and finds touch just inside 5. Very, very handy.
Absolute coach killer though for East. You know, for Muji, he'd be looking at that and wondering why they wasn't taking on the full, executing an exit play out of there.
Sam Richards, son of legend Pat. He's the complete pathway player for the Tigers, juniors to seniors.
Yeah, another one of those sort of club stalwarts we mentioned earlier on, between sort of him, Milosevic, Matt Gordon, those sort of guys, just live and breathe East Tigers.
And they've given away another opportunity here to the home side. They're up very close and personal now.
Correct. Boy. Set.
Keep your eyes on Zach Moy at the back. That scrum's not moving an inch. Nusafora goes. Fires it out. Good line from
Ryan Menzies there.
Menzies.
Short off Nusafora.
Bond have a chance here to strike back straight away a minute after conceding.
Looks like he's lost it forward and Nusafora in contact.
Hunt at the back. Kicking options are thin here. He's got Pills in the pocket. He's going to look even wider. Bit of a hospital under Kennedy, but...
Yeah, certainly an interesting decision, but as I said before, Shane Kennedy, massive boot, so if he does get some space, he's good for 50, 60 metres off the boot.
Another point scoring opportunity for Bond gone biggie.
Yeah, they definitely need to start converting on those chances and opportunities they're having inside sort of that red zone in the 22.
Now the Tigers back with the ball. But still only 5 metres out from their line. Tall order.
As we've highlighted already today, Marty, I'm definitely interested and curious to see what direction East go in with their 9 and 10 going forward.
And running onto that one will be Menzies. He gets the pass. Back to himself. He goes up. He's got Moy to help over the top, along with Hughes. Now in the middle, there's Patello. Taumata sends it out back. Ducking and weaving is Boardman, who takes it into contact. Moy. Taumata again. Great line from Dowd. He's monstered by Uru.
Dowd, the local TSS product. Studying here at Bond as well.
Here's ball. Ball is rolling towards the 22. Taumata takes it to the line himself, opts out. Now they go wide. Quick feet from Fiddick. He's across the 22.
Let it come.
One showing a bit more patience now, trying to build some phases.
Straight in is Winchester. He gets set back. Now Van Brecht. Van Brecht, he's got ball with him, but he's lost it. It's been stripped. And a quick toe will send it back down their end of the field. But the Tigers are coming. Across the field is Pritchard. Advantage given for the high shot. Now Winchester. Taken low by Van Neck.
Still got that advantage. As we've mentioned, gentlemen, as well, I think Bond really need to convert something in the next couple of minutes, having the bulk of the possession early.
Oh, and here we go. Some lines being run. The advantage is finally over from the high shot. They're back up, knocking on the door. Taumata comes in, steps around one, but he's taken around the ankles by Hunt, and the offload to no one is recovered by the Tigers. Undoes all of the good work from Bond.
I think some of that pressure's getting to them now. They're really feeling that they have to get something on the scoreboard, and Down probably pushing the pass a little bit too much there when he should have just taken it into contact with the ground.
The lack of discipline's just hurting them on their attack.
Pills in the pocket. Oh, he hesitated. No, Van Brecht managed to get away from Van Brecht. Luckily, Pills still there. Uru's picked it up. Here we go. Uru's clear. He's got Olsen on the right. The forwards looking good. Olsen, greedy, holds on. Doesn't have the support play there. Phoenix Hunt's had to jump in, and now it's been lost.
Yeah, it was a very strange little passage of play there. It was almost like, I'm not sure if they were waiting on a whistle or something. The Bond players were very slow to get to the ball.
I was going to say slow motion, wasn't it?
It really was like, what's going on here? Hold on, everyone's pressed pause for a little bit and the boys were moving.
And here's the replay. Uru just sat there and said, thank you, off I go.
There's a ruck, but there's no one in the boot.
Yeah,
no one
there was no one at
it.
the boot there. So it was just the Bond were like, hold on, he's broken through.
I think, if you're Ryan Menzies and you're watching Henry Olsen get away from you, you've got to evaluate some things, don't you?
Absolutely. Henry's another one as well. He really has seen some results from playing the 7th season through Eastern Queensland and then last year and being involved with QAS.
News 4 throws it in. Moy will pick it up from the back. Has a run himself, beats 2 defenders, and he's brought down by his counter, Uru. Phoenix Hunt having a good dig in there, trying to get it, but to no avail. Now, Taumata took to the skies, and that was a sensational take from Riley Cooper. Now, juking and jiving on the far side. They're holding on. Great passes from the centres to find Kennedy. Kennedy gets another one off back to Hunt. Back to Kennedy. They shoot out wide. Leeming's lurking. Hayes jumps into half.
Bond really have to work hard here.
Gives it to his old mate Gordon, who's trying to set it up. Bond are trying to push him out. He's trying to set up this driving maul. They're close, but he'll be pushed back. Hunt. Pills. Here's Uru. Goes himself, picked up by Van Brecht and put down. Hunt sees something out wide, sends a hospital pass to Seruvatu. They keep moving it across the field to this right-hand side. Pills, end over end, goes, stepping back, inside, 1-2, full extension. But Jordan, Riley Cooper, I beg your pardon, just didn't have enough to get there.
I think the ref was playing advantage there for the Tigers. But they seem to be making inroads just down that left edge every time they shift to that side of the field.
Yeah, really using the width of the field this afternoon.
A lot of confidence in Phoenix Hunt's playing today as well.
Yeah, definitely. As we've highlighted a few times, I think the combination between the 9 and 10 there with Hunt and Pills is going to be critical this afternoon. It's already paying dividends in the first 20 minutes.
And while we're on the subject of Phoenix Hunt, obviously currently in the Reds Academy and a junior Wallaby. Gentlemen, in all the years that you've been involved with the sport, and obviously how much of a positive effect is the development of these pathways been with respect to players like Phoenix and what other players have been coming through?
Yeah, having watched the Reds Academy closely over the past couple of years, I can really say at the moment there's some great players coming through.
Pills will line up for this one. Pills strikes and he gets it. That's another 3.
The penalty is successful, so East head out to a 10-point lead, 20 to go in the first half.
And so East extend the lead 10 points to 0 here in the 20th minute of play. Really capitalising the moment they get within 20 metres of the Bond line. Bond need to muster a response and make the most out of what territory they can get. Tamata once again kicking for territory, goes deep, but the Tigers, they'll get this one. Now, the right-hand side. Was that a goose step? Yes, it was. Big tackle on Leeming. Second row is lighting it up this afternoon. The penalty going against Van Brecht for not rolling away.
Yeah, I do think Moses Rowland will definitely highlight at half-time that East need to get that restart right. Even then, they didn't look comfortable taking the kick-off from Bond. So I think that's something as well he'll be a bit worried about, that going into the second half they need to consolidate.
And even with a good kick-off, like, you'd think there'd be some pressure.
Absolutely.
They were able to relieve that pressure pretty easily.
And a kick for the line out. Now, East, it's their first attacking line out inside the Bond side of the field. They'll go short and find Leeming up the front clean. Now Pills sizes up his options. I'll take the crash ball up the middle, courtesy of Landon Hayes.
Yeah, just to finish that earlier point before on that pathway structure we mentioned as well, I think Queensland seem to have gotten it right over the last couple of years, and we've seen that this week with 12 Queenslanders named in the Junior Wallabies for the under-20s at Oceania Championships in the next couple of weeks.
I think it also highlights the importance of, spreading the wealth of knowledge and making sure, you're getting it to as many people, that need to have it.
Definitely. The investment from a lot of our premier rugby clubs as well in the Colts program, and we see it at Brothers, but all of the clubs as well are really realising now they need to invest heavily in youth, and they'll pay or bear the fruits, obviously, for the seasons after.
Now, Moi Moi in the middle. Taumata quickly dices it back to the inside, but might have been a whisker pass flat.
That's just one of those challenges when you're coaching a player of the calibre of Dion Taumata. He can create something out of nothing, but there's those plays like what we've just witnessed in the last 30 seconds where you just, unforced error, putting his team under the pump.
Well, the big thing for Dion is obviously Mitch Third, who featured quite heavily last year. He has that knee injury. I'm hearing that Mitch will potentially be back over the course of the season. So I guess the real question is, do you see Mitch Third then and Dion being able to fit into the same backline?
Yeah, that's obviously a challenge for Brad and probably more so Ray Thomas to have a look at. And it really depends on the results and how the team's travelling. At the moment, you know, they've put their trust in Dion, so we'll see how things pan out. But they've definitely targeted this game as one of the ones where they want to go into the bye break 2 for 2.
It's a good problem to have, though, isn't it, when you've got lots of options?
Definitely, and you know, someone like Mitch Third is capable enough to play out of that 15 spot as well, so there's plenty of options for Bond.
And then Corbin comes back, and
yeah, plenty of options throughout midfield as well, absolutely. I think Dion seems to be one of those players that just needs to sort of, it's really tough with that balancing act of talent, but then making the right decisions at the right time, because he's clearly extreme.
you got to be a bit humble with your talent.
Yeah, exactly. So in your 22 there, maybe just try and don't look to push it.
And here is a great scrum. They've forced the first penalty off a scrum. It was good footwork from Udu at the back. Now, to the left. And the ball will be spilled by Matt Gordon. But they've got the penalty. Phoenix Hunt rearing to go.
And another penalty, and Ace will be going for the points.
They're pushing forward, and you've stood up.
Looking to extend it to 13 now.
Push to the mark, and you've stood up. Thank you.
And it's good weather conditions out here today. We were talking earlier about, you know, the kicks coming in from Dion Taumata, and East not able to field them as cleanly as they can, but obviously a bit cooler day. Southerly's kicking in, especially off the Gold Coast, 23 degrees, 64% humidity. We've got squally rain coming in every now and then, and we're getting wind gusts up to 18 kilometres an hour, so on and off trying conditions, but Pills seems to be handling it well. Pills from in front. Flags are up. That's another 3 points to the Tigers tally. They extend their lead 13 points to 0 here in the 25th minute. And they'll bring it back for another restart from Dion Taumata.
There we go, a little bit safer under pressure there, East. But as you mentioned as well before, so I just don't think the chase was there. Like, there's just not pressure from Bond when they're kicking off to actually get to that ball carrier and try and get some early contact.
Hunt back to the right. The front rowers having a good trot there. Reece Van Neck, the 2017 BBC graduate, another Reds Academy and junior Wallaby out on the field.
We might be sounding a bit repetitive, but what an asset Eli Pills' boot can be for East, not only today but this season.
Oh, and he's breaking through there, getting across the advantage line, and ball smashes Hunt to the deck. Definitely a mismatch in size.
8 points already for Eli Pills off the boot today, and as we said, kicking in the victory against Jeeps too as well.
He's going to give James Dalglish a run for his money this year.
Definitely with the points scoring.
Straight through the middle. Once again, ruck defence.
Ball is just rolling all over the field. Udu steps in. Now the chase is on. Leeming's putting his head down and running onto it along with Van Neck. And not the cleanest of play, but it'll be all good, because there's a great try to the captain. Matt Gordon cleans up the scraps.
Right place at the right time. He has an opportunity to sniff out a try there. Martin inside the 22 in around the ball and said, come to me.
Do you think, Sedu, we're seeing a little bit of fatigue here from both sides, especially in the last, 3 or 4 phases of play?
Well, we've had quite a bit of drop ball in the first sort of 25 minutes. Team's not able to build any more than 5 phases, but East are showing at the moment that they're able to capitalise on those mistakes probably a bit better than Bonda.
But if you're going to pick one person running onto it, Matt Gordon.
He definitely knows the try line very well.
That's his 3rd try for the season. Obviously, he's picked up the double today. A man who was plagued by a few nasty injuries over the last 5 years, and he's definitely come good over the last 2. Now to Pills, looking for the extras. And from in front, the Nudgy 2014 graduate gets the 2. East pull further ahead, 20 points to 0 here in our round 4 match of the round.
Might be Connor Pritchard down for Bond University in back play. Ref calls time off. Gold Coast Rugby Lunch is one of the biggest events on the Gold Coast Rugby calendar. Join us on Friday, 13th of September. It's got a Rugby World Cup theme, and it's 1 week before the kickoff of the major tournament. Lunch tickets are on sale now. See Trish at the clubhouse for more information. Connor Pritchard returns to the playing group.
A little bit of a reshuffle here for Bond. Taumata. That back right pocket.
We've highlighted it a few times, Seto, but the chase isn't there off the kickoff.
Oh, the quick line out. Nusfora wasn't quite ready to receive that one, but he does well. Taumata hunts for territory again, looks for the turf, the roll's on. Oh, wow. That is very special. That is territory kicking that is an absolute treat to watch.
And that's the Jekyll and Hyde of Dion Taumata. You know?
It's the flip of a coin, isn't it? At any given moment, he can do something.
And the Tigers have responded. They've gone for the quick restart themselves.
Good awareness from East there to do that. Got the ball out of their own territory.
Here's Udu.
The Tigers looking to get where they've been getting a lot of pay, and that's out on the edges. Had a bit of a free rein out there on both the left and right edge.
Now Gordon off the left, kicking for clearance.
Great nudge from Matt Gordon from inside the 22, right on the try line. Look at the options as well across that back line for East at the moment when you've got kicking from Hunt, Pills, Gordon with Jack Frampton to come back.
Shane Kennedy. Got a bit of a knee there, we'll have to wait and see. Half time just around the corner. Just over 10 minutes left here in the first half. Great first half for East, up 20 points to 0. Have denied Bond at the line 2 or 3 times so far. And now the Tigers back, mounting an assault from the middle. And the man who's got 2 already, Matt Gordon, took the first run.
Yeah, no difference to what we
breaks through 1. Breaks through 2, but loses it forward.
No difference to what we mentioned with Bond earlier. I think when Jack Frampton comes back for East, similar to when Mitch comes back for Bond, I am curious to see how they fit Pills, Hunt, Frampton, potentially even Jack Hardy in the mix with Matt Gordon as well. A lot of talent at their disposal.
Moses Rauluni and Brad Harris, they're good problems to have.
Yeah, exactly right. So, but whether you then think you play Gordon goes to 13 perhaps, Eli or Jacket.
Hey, it just means you get variations.
Yeah, definitely. Keep the opposition guessing as well on their toes as who's sitting in first and second receiver.
Good scrumming today from both sides. Hunt tries to give Moy some trouble at the back, but it doesn't pay off. And now pulling away is Dowd. They keep going. Great footwork. Jordan Hughes pulling away on the right-hand side. Gets the first points for Bond. And this is the breakthrough that the Bull Sharks needed. They're on the scoreboard trailing 5 points to 20 with a conversion to come.
Yeah, it was a solid run that we talked about earlier in 2018. At the back end of 2018 was off the back of this lightning backline. And here we see Maxi Dowd finding Jordan Hughes on the edge and getting a free run to the line. So well executed play off the back of the scrum. Nusfora to Taumata, able to free up their outside backs, and the end result is an opportunity for 7 points.
There's a bit of trouble here for Zach Moy down in backfield for Bond University.
Jordan Hughes is a local Gold Coast product. He's actually did a bit of media work himself. Was doing a little bit of commentary work over the Oceania games last year. So if I'm not here next week, he'll probably put his hand up if he's not required by Brad Harris.
I was about to say there's a big if there.
And now we go back to the field. Harry Nusfora. Nusfora. Oh, Makes contact with the right.
Off the
Upright. And that'll be conversion unsuccessful, but Bond trailing East 5 points to 20 here in the 33rd minute of play. Now the Tigers will bring it back for a restart, courtesy of Eli Pills. Pills, much shallower option, but it's fielded well by Menzies, and Menzies spins through 2 tacklers, and it takes a total of 4 to eventually get him down to the turf.
Yeah, strong chase from East there as well.
And now they're running down that right-hand side again. They've got speed. We've seen them do it once before. 1-2 combinations looking strong. Winchester finds himself in the middle. Gets another offload. Nusafora's just short.
Connor Pritchard there looking to provide a shield.
And they've lost the ball. Olsen's got it. But the penalty. The turnover goes back the other way. And what a moment.
Looks like Jack Winchester over the line. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Points seem to be aplenty down that side of the field for East left flank or Bond's right flank.
And we see there Winchester in the thick of it, gets the offload back. Nusafora comes up with the ball. And then this is where it gets a bit interesting for Olsen.
Bit of a turnover here, and it's that man Winchester who just talked about.
Taumata was the man.
He'll never get an easy try in his life. A nice little meat pie pops up for him on his stomach.
I think Winchester should probably get that one, to be honest. Did all the work.
He got all the pats.
Yeah, Henry wasn't too happy with himself after that effort, unfortunately.
And it brings Bond well and truly back into the match.
This is the response that Brad Harris would have wanted after going down early, 20 to zip.
Nusafora. He won't get this one either, but Bond trailing 10 points to 20 here. Just over 5 minutes of play remaining in the first half. When we get to that half time, we'll be giving you all updates on the other matches which are being streamed live and free by redsrugby.com.au. We'll also see our Battle of the North get underway. Pills, high and short. Ah, what a specky from Van Brecht. He should go play for the Suns. Might get them a win. Now ball. Nusafora to the right. Good toe from Boardman, sends it long. Pills is running back for it. And he just gets it in time. Now the high ball. Kennedy's under. He's chasing it down. Now they're going to spread it through the hands. Menzies got taken down.
Milosevic causing a bit of a nuisance in the ruck, as he's good for.
One looking to go back to their favourable right edge.
That's where they've had results so far.
Pulling away is Fiddick. Fiddick. Moy gets the offload. Here's Slipper. Slipper tries to give it to his old mate Patello. They've held on to it well. Now Van Brecht. Patello gets bumped hard in the contact. To the right. Fiddick.
Place it, good.
Bond just got to be patient here and keep building their phases.
Moy again. Goes high.
We talk about fatigue. East have come off the bye, so they really need to make sure they're not going to concede any further points in these last 3 or 4 minutes of the first half.
Here's Winchester.
Lost.
Taumata. The call is back. It's picked up well by Menzies.
No, off.
And the penalty's given away.
Off your feet, deny the contest.
Seru Uru gives away a penalty right in front.
What does Dion Taumata do here? Does he look to the sideline?
I think Harry's taking the choice out of his hands there, and the skipper's pointed to the post.
And it's 4 points at the post, so the boys will be looking to go within 7.
No waters, fellas. No waters. It's a penalty. No waters. We're not time off at the moment. We're not time off. All right, yeah, boys, we're good. All right, yeah, time off. Sorry, boys. Yeah, time's off. Time's off.
And so time is off, so the boys will get waters. Interesting decision here, obviously. Start with you, Dan. Nusafora, he's 0 from 2 today off the boot, and that's a very similar position to the 2 that he's just missed. Do you think taking the 3 was the better option than looking for a potential 5?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of minutes to go before half-time, I definitely probably would have taken the 3 as well. I think we've highlighted as well, Eli already has 10 points for East off his boot, so I think Harry will really want to consolidate here and get some confidence going in the second half off the boot.
Yeah, that's the big one. Once Harry nails one, he tends to get into a good rhythm and a good flow, so he'll be looking to find that mark.
Big Eddie Aholele.
Cooking up a storm.
Looks delicious. I hope it can make its way towards the commentary box.
We just don't want the wind to go our way. That'd make it worse. Nusafora looking for 3. And he'll get his first flags of the match. Now Bond trailing by 7. 13 points to 20 here in the 39th minute. 2 minutes or thereabouts left. Can they close the gap further? Or are East going to respond?
These 2 teams, they've got the Batty Bremner Thomas Trophy, which is played in memory of John Bremner. Bond currently holds.
What a difference 10 minutes makes. Now Bond strike back with 13 straight points to bring it within a converted try.
Pills. Oof. Pills is looking for a little bit too much and ended up with it being a little too less. Now, go back to the middle. There'll be a scrum with about 1 minute left to play, and I think all eyes are going to be left on that right-hand side of the field for Bond. And there's a familiar face in the stand there, Seti.
Yeah, Colvin Cannon, shoulder, that arm in a sling. He'd obviously rather be out in the middle, especially when there's an opportunity for a few meat pies.
I don't know. He looked like he was having a pretty good time sitting in the stands. Now Nusafora from the back. They go to the right. Taumata was waiting. No look pass to nobody, but Nusafora has to clean it up. Without the half, Taumata is at the back.
Use it now.
Bondo look to their forwards to just get them going forward.
Van Breck hurdles over one defender and gets a good 4 or 5 metres. Now a run from ball. Big forwards doing good work, getting over the advantage line.
Young Connor Pritchard there is...
now they're moving it. This looks good. This looks dangerous. What a step and a run from Fiddick. Good run from Papworth. Still going. They just hold on to it. Half time is looming. Taumata gives the short inside ball to Ball. Nusafora getting haggled at the back. They've still got it in possession. Bond, they want to try and find some more points to round out the half. Here's Moi Moi.
No, release.
The Tigers putting the nudge on, trying to turn this one over. Could be anybody's, but they'll give away a penalty. A little bit too far out, potentially for Nusafora. It'd be close to about 50 metres on the boot for the 3 gents, so what do they opt for?
I think Dion Taumata will look to the sideline.
4, I think.
One final roll of the dice for Bond.
Matt, the counter was good, but then he flicked it out.
So they creep into the 22.
And some good cattle waiting
Blue, use the line.
on the sideline for both sides.
Hold your line there, good.
It's in the hands of Winchester.
And this is exactly why we love rugby, because of the competitive battle that happens out there. But within the space of 10 minutes, we've got a very, very close game, which at one point East looked like running away with.
Two.
And a half arm given away.
Closed in. There's two there. Scrum.
And Bond will opt for the scrum off the half arm penalty.
And two jumpers. Scrum. Scrum. So there's two jumps. Like there's no
And as we approach the 42-minute mark, even though it's a 90-minute game, an 80-minute game, I beg your pardon, every extra second on that field stacks up, and Bond, they're going to want to come away with something here inside the 22.
Interesting to watch this short side down the right-hand side again, where the Bond will do a cheeky play.
Boyne. Set.
One of the battles we haven't talked a lot about is that front row battle between Carter Ozane, that I know the guys were talking about in the review from last week, and also Will Slipper. It's been pretty strong up front, it's been pretty willing.
Yeah, Carter definitely still one of those young products. In the early 20s now. Will, obviously an experienced statesman, played his 100th cap towards the end of last year, I think, for Bond as well. So young bull versus old bull.
Yusfora puts it in, it's at the back. Moy juggles it. They've got the penalty. Nusafora's had enough, fires it out. Taumata, crossfield kick. Players are running on. He goes up, and it's taken very well by Shane Kennedy. But they're going to have to bring it back for the penalty given away by the good scrum by Bond.
It's a great grab from the former Burdick and Kane toad, but as you mentioned, they'll be going back here for Bond to consolidate with this penalty.
The 8. Field out.
I'll take the line out.
It's an interesting option considering they lost the last one. Bond were in, they were in the same spot.
Approaching the 45th minute of the first half. Big numbers.
Are we in or out, mate? Are we in or out?
Dan, how much will that tell at the back end of the game, given that Tigers are coming?
Moy, quick trick play round the side. Papworth.
Absolutely.
Just short. Moy now.
Just coming off the bye.
And I know the boys had a really good bonding session down in Byron as well last week.
Now Van Brecht at the back. Moy binds onto him. They're getting close. Ball has it.
Got Patello on his hip.
Out of it.
East have got to be careful not to give away a penalty. Nusafora sizes it up. Slipper spits it out
Good defence from
like a
Tigers.
pumpkin seed. And that will be the end of the first half, a massive first half. Bond trailing 13 points to 20. We are going to go to a short break. And during the week, our friends from Double Take put together a rather special video package about what's currently about to kick off over on the north side of Brisbane. It's the Battle of the North. Check it out.
Members draw right now for the winner of the Bundy Run mini fridge.
How well do you know the North? Northerners are different, more loyal.
We are live from Crosby Park, the home of Brothers, where they will clash against close rival Norths. The Eagles haven't finished ahead of Brothers on the Premier Rugby ladder since 1992. A winter day will see Norths claim North side bragging rights for the first time in 25 years.
Triple cutout goes wide, and that'll be the first try. Varesa Mataitini.
driving maul is initiated by Norths. Trying to find their way in. And he goes over. The hooker, Wilson Anoka. Oh, and running onto it. Great try, potentially. Yes, it is. Mataitini. We know he's quick. Inside to Prendergast. Oh, this is an 80-metre special. The left. James cuts out about 3 or 4. Here's Beecham looking out wide. The quick offload. They're looking for the corner. Will he get there? A roll and a try. Chapman's got Mataitini on the outside. There he is, Mataitini gets a hat-trick. Fowler to the left, running onto it is McBride. McBride goes through under the post. Here we go, Beecham. The captain leading the way from the back. He's going to go himself and he'll get there, the captain. He's there. That's his 4th try for this game. What a fantastic individual effort from Varesa Mataitini. But that is it. It is full time and Norths have broken a quarter of a century drought, getting a sensational win, 40 points to 31.
The war is not over. There is only one war that matters. And it is here.
And we are back. Music courtesy the Bond University Marching Band. What spectacular sounds. And a tight scoreline here, 13 points to 20. And we're going to have a quick look around the grounds. Currently 2 other matches underway since our kickoff, and another one has gone just as we've spoken. Remarkably, Wests are up against the University of Queensland, 42 points to 14 in half-time. The Gallopers are in the lead, 17 points to 7, and the Battle of the Norths has kicked off already, and Brothers have found an early lead, 5 points. points to nil. I'm joined at half-time, not only by this wonderful marching band. Dan Sedu, welcome back to the half-time. Some interesting results from around the grounds.
Yeah, absolutely. As we know, West seem to have been a bit of a surprise packet throughout the season in this early part. But to be up 42-14 at half-time over the grand finalists in UQ from last year is definitely surprising. Jeeps and South, I think, is just going to be a tussle the whole way through, but the Premier's looking good early on there, and Brothers will be a tough task for North, it looks early on.
And Sedu, when we look across the board, especially at West, some headline players have moved on. Larry Herman and co, they've moved on. They're now at Sunnybank. So do you think, are you a little bit surprised that despite the fact they lost some of their headline players from the last couple of years, that they're kicking off their 2019 in pretty fantastic fashion?
Yeah, look, I've heard some early talk in the week that West had a pretty formidable forward pack for this game, and there's been question marks over the UQ forward pack, and that if the West forward pack got it right, that there'd be some serious questions asked in today's fixture. And I mean, I haven't seen the game obviously, but 42-14 up, you know, looks like there's been a pretty good platform for that West backline to run off the back of.
We talk about kicking as well, and Carter Gordon, the young Reds Academy prospect and playing fly half for the Bulldogs at West there this year, to be up 42 indicates to me as well he's obviously kicking really well off the boot again today. And again, that just shows another asset that a good kicker can go a long way to winning the football game.
Yeah, 100%. And Effie Mafu was in great try-scoring form last week. He's probably got a few meat pies today as well.
Absolutely.
Well, it's all going off, ladies and gentlemen, and of course you can watch it all live and free via redsrugby.com.au. Every match, every week, streamed live and free. And now it's got a little bit quieter now that the marching band has straight off the field, and Harry Sephora will run his team back out. And the Bull Sharks had a tremendous final 10 minutes, well, last 15 minutes really, and got themselves well and truly back into the game. They're trailing 13 points to 20, and East will field the restart to come.
Yeah, Bond making East wait a little bit as the home side comes back on. East itching to get the second half underway.
Looks like there's been a change already for the Bond side. The introduction of Mears Erasmus at tie head prop just arrived into the Bond lineup.
And we're away. Second half. Newstead Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup 2019. And the Tigers in the lead, 20 points to 13. Aaron Pook out in the middle, refereeing today, and Gordon slams that left boot hard, but Taumata was waiting for it. Now to the left.
They say footy's a tale of two halves, but even in that first half, we almost had a tale of two halves. We went from Bond having all that possession, but not being able to convert, to East getting a few little probably broken play tries, to then Bond bouncing back and on the scoreboard especially. So
good run from Patello. Taumata throws it out the back. They keep moving it. Good through the hands. Pulling away is Hughes. Ball's lost, so the Tigers
still seeing a lot of space down that right-hand side, Bondar, so they've gone straight to that in the early part of the second half already, because it yielded results in the first half.
And Leeming bumps off Fiddick. Hunt from the back. Finds Pills, who throws the cutout to Udu, who just manhandles that ball in that left hand. He's got it hooked under. He slipped off 3 tackles, passes it back to Hunt, who throws in the kick, hunting for territory, and that is an absolutely fantastic result for the Tigers. Pretty much gone coast to coast.
Yeah, definitely. Good vision there from Phoenix straight away in the open field to put it on the boot into the corner. I think he would have liked a more favourable bounce for the running winger, but a good result nonetheless.
And falls back
to proving problematic for the Bond defence already.
Playing that stereotypical style of Fijian rugby, breaking the line. He's deceptively fast, obviously, as well. Big body.
Winchester fires it in. Now it's into the middle with Papworth. Taumata has time, hunts for touch. And he'll find it, but the Tigers, time to attack. 30 metres out from the line. Sam Richards to throw it in.
Seen in that first minute of play, a turnover already, so I think early on in the second half you just want to hold on to possession and build a bit of pressure. The Tigers definitely playing at the right end of the field.
Up the back, and it's been lost forward. The Tigers will squander an opportunity 30 metres out, and it'll be a Bond scrum in return.
I have to be honest here, gentlemen. Look, I don't think either side's really consolidated their line out here. Like, neither have been really consistent in making sure they win their own ball.
It's been pretty messy, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
so I think both will look to really solidify that coming into the rest of the second half and make sure they're holding onto the ball.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Nusafora puts it in. Once again, scrum's lurching, but it's not going anywhere. Strong run from Boardman. Keeping to the left, there's the kick from Fiddick out the back. He finds some real estate, but he won't find the line.
Bit of a better chase there from Bond. They look a bit hungrier in the second half than they were chasing some of the kicks in the first half, which is good to see.
Now Taumata throws a flat pass out to Dowd, who's trying to find some space. He'll stay in the field of play, though.
Absolutely generous flat pass there, Marty.
There's Moi Moi. Taumata fires it out the back. He's got options, but this time it's going to be with Hughes. Hughes is roly-polied by Saravatu, and now it's back to Dowd.
The man who started it all.
He's got some really good feet on him, twinkle toes maxed out.
And the show and go from Erasmus. There's a loose boot out there, Taumata. Triple cut out wide, finds Vidic. Keeps going, 1-2. Bumps through, and he gets just short of the line. Moi Moi gets the good offload to Van Brecht. Van Brecht! They keep it going. That's a try. Zach Moi Moi sets it up with a massive run and comes through and finishes it off. What a great try there by the forwards.
Yeah, Zach Moi Moi just recently returned from Western Australia, where he went over and had a crack with the Western Force. Also spent some time with the North Harbour Sevens program over in New Zealand, and also the Melbourne Storm as an under-20 player. So there's a bit of pedigree behind Moi Moi.
I think both packs, but Bonds especially today, just look really quite versatile, quite agile. They managed to get around the park quite well, and both teams have good hands.
So Moi Moi picking up his first for the season, the infamous and hard first try, which comes with a range of benefits off the field. And now he puts it to Nusafora to try and find the two to even it up. Nusafora wasn't pretty. Down and to the left, but Bond now within 2 points, trailing 18 points to 20 here in the second half. 47th minute of play. And they'll come back to the middle. And there he is, the infamous, the mystical.
Hang around after the game for some island music with Island Soul and food. And Vicky Entertainment.
Pills for the restart, hammers it long, too long. Now there is that light southeasterly breeze coming over the Tigers' shoulders at the moment. They're going to have to account for that with the kicks.
Absolutely. Rugby's a funny game though, isn't it? I mean, if you're just looking at the scoreboard 15 minutes ago, you're seeing East up 20-0, but I think us observing the game and how it sort of played out, we knew Bond had their opportunities and just weren't converting. Now within the space of 5-7 minutes into the second half, we have a really tight tussle on our hands.
Moses Raouni, Brad Harris will have to start cycling through the benches soon. Keep fit legs on the paddock. Great angle of the scrum. Moimoi from the back. Nusafora kicks for territory, sees an opportunity and executes exceptionally well.
Playing much smarter footy now as well, Bond. Things like that, like really pushing field position, is exactly what they needed when they were making a few silly decisions earlier in the game.
Just in the build-up of those phases leading into their try, Harry Nusafora is getting it on a platter. Really quick ruck ball, being able to get his forwards going forward, getting over the gain line with every run.
Richards with the sun over his shoulders. Mine's leaming up the front pretty clean. Oh, and that'll go against Mears Erasmus. Fresh sub for Bond. Penalty against him for sacking. And does a wealth of good pressure built up by the Bull Sharks and invites the Tigers back up their end of the field.
Yeah, something that's probably underrated is just players making the right decisions at the right times, like almost rugby smarts or rugby IQ. And Harry Nusafora is a prime example of that. He just has a really good mentality, a good head on his shoulders to be able to make those decisions.
All his good work gone undone, though. Just, silly error.
Exactly.
Penalty, freebie.
Richards once again hits Leeming up the front. They look for a driving maul. Erasmus has learnt from his mistake.
I'd be interested to see if any...
Good line from Gordon, but the ball's lost on the left-hand side. They're going to keep moving it. Great hands will find Dowd. Dowd, he's getting boxed in. Here's Winchester. Nusafora supplying fast ball for his players, but that... Is that the other side, Cedric?
That is the other side, although I think it was a little bit hard done by. There's no material effect, really.
Very impressed with the speed that Harry Nusafora is supplying ball to his players.
He's got, the forwards are doing a really good job cleaning out. And he's getting good, quick, clean ball, being able to keep building those phases. Just once again, an unforced error, just stopping that momentum.
Pinpoint passing as well. He's just really good at just hitting you right there on the chest.
Set.
Big scrum for the Tigers. Ball's out, says Pook. Move quickly. Pills throws the grubber in behind play. It's fielded well by Dowd, who puts the return kick and begins his march back up into Tigers territory. Uru offloads. They find Gordon with that hefty left boot, who kicks it long and finds touch, almost 22-22.
Good chase as well there from East to stop the quick throw in.
We've just finished talking about game IQ, from Harry Nusafora. Now Matty Gordon, someone else who's been in and around NRC rugby, spots acres of space out there deep in the left-hand side and behind the Bond front line. And
both captains influencing play there.
And the pressure, Jack Winchester will have a bit of a curvy one there, and now the Tigers.
This is what we've talked about again before with their with the lineouts and the inconsistency from both teams.
And Leeming, though, doing a good job there up front, putting pressure on the Bond lineout.
Now the first real attacking opportunity for the Tigers in the second half. Inside the 22, good spread of players left and right.
The sun will definitely have an effect as well on the line out for this second half of Bond in players' eyes.
Set.
Hunt shoved around to the back. Now they're getting some momentum forward. Uru's going. Advantage given to the Tigers. Was that enough? Picks up and goes forward, and now the Tigers haven't scored in about 35 minutes of play. Have a golden opportunity in front. And it looks like they're going to hunt for the 5.
Yeah, I think they want that breathing distance again. And they'll take their chances. A nice close line out here. Shade in that corner as well, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue in the players' eyes for those who are getting lifted. Nor in Sam's as he throws.
Been Moneyball at the front to Leeming. Do you think that's where they're going to go again?
Yep, absolutely. Oh,
Richards throws the long one. Out the back to Milosevic, and it has Uru wrapping around. Olsen's at the back, says get on my hip. Count ball.
Good defence there from Bond, not giving an inch.
Hunt throws the short one to Seruvatu. Now they go to the right. Pills, good line. Hayes trips on his feet. Now they go to the oof, and Phoenix Hunt monstered by Zach Moy.
I understand, but you've got to get his timing right, okay? There's a few building up inside 22. Have a quick word, I don't want to see any more. Ball starts to be out though, yeah? Yeah, but it's hands on the ball doesn't mean it's out. Okay, have a word.
Aaron Pook there, laying down the law. And it's a position that Bond haven't had to be in so far this game.
On the second half, at least, anyway. Zach Moy just a little bit off with his timing there and paying the price. Tigers feel like they've got the upper hand in the scrum, and they'll look to apply the screws here on the Bond Uni scrum.
Yeah, this is probably the first extended time East have spent inside the Bond 22, even in the game, because the first 2 tries in the half were broken play.
Hunt puts it in. They got a penalty just before from getting that shove and the momentum, and they found it again. Uru's at the back, juggling through. So wait and see who picked it up and went through. It might have been Tom Milosevic coming up with the try. Wasn't the cleanest one we saw, but definitely came up with the good result.
No, absolutely. He's also good. Here we go. Yep, he's just broken from the right-hand side there, picked it up, put it under the post.
That's a bit of a rarity for the flankers, isn't it? Yeah. To take one away from the number 8s. It's usually theirs dead to rights, but the East stalwart.
One of the easiest ones he'll probably ever get under the post there. Just picks it up and puts it down.
Vindicated their decision to take a scrum, 5 out. It's paid off.
Now Pills in front. Strikes it, flags go up. And that is the Tigers extending their lead, 27 points, 18 here as we head into the 55th minute of play.
Gives them a little bit of breathing space now over Bond.
Sam Dobb is taken to the field for Andrew Patello.
Substitution here for Bond University. Sam Dobb is out in the field. And Andrew Patello is coming off it.
And Taumata for the restart. It's at high, very close to that sideline. Yet again, testing the patience of the Tigers, and that's a fantastic trot from Van Neck. Now they're moving it through the middle of the field. Hunt getting menaced by ball.
Good pressure defensively there from Bond.
Oh, Nuru steps through. Now Pills gets himself wrapped up. Maul's called. And there we go. That's a big turn of events. That's the first time this game we've seen the turnover from a Maul.
Definitely.
A big effort there.
Big Zaki Moimoy getting his arms around. Who was it? I think it was Phoenix Hunt there. Holding him up and just having that awareness for the call from the ref to call maul and then take it to ground and kill him.
Boys. He's good. Come down.
And a special thanks to the Newstead Brewing Company, the naming rights sponsors for the Hospital Challenge Cup for 2019, for their support of the competition and grassroots rugby.
Crouch.
So at this stage, I don't think we've seen any changes in the front row from East. So they're going to use every bit of energy for the starting three.
Yusufora pulls it out. Taumata takes it jumping, and a good line through there by Boardman gets it happening. Now Moimoy off the back, tries to shrug off a few.
Off now.
And the penalty going against Pills, straight off his feet.
Probably a silly decision there, given they were inside their 22 for Eli to go at that ball. I think they just really needed to focus on making sure they were getting to each ruck.
And discipline in here.
The sun sets here at Shark Park.
Scum.
Cooler conditions as winter is coming.
Harry Nessafora confident enough to go to a scrum to set the platform to try and make a raid deep into the towards the try line.
Well, fresh front row, Sam Dobb, Mears Erasmus on both sides. Will it be enough to maybe get a scrum penalty back?
Bind. Set.
Boardman waits out here, eagerly wanting to get his hands on the footy, you can tell.
Referee Aaron Cook's done a pretty good job today.
Yeah, definitely. We mentioned before as well, he's come through sort of that refereeing pathway. He's a Gold Coast boy, and this time last year was doing Gold Coast sort of second and first grade. And in 12 months, he's now done NRC and Australian schoolboys. Really good mental temperament. He's just got a great young, sort of mature head on his shoulders and a great temperament.
Now, they're moving it quick out of the back. Menzies is trying to make some inroads on that left wing. Nusafora gets the offload to the new man, Dobb. They keep moving. Oh, and that's up and down. It's okay.
Good contact from Pills there.
Taumata keeps moving it. The centres having a real good go. There's Fiddick. Fiddick getting manhandled.
Tackle now.
Tackle's been called. They move it back. Taumata, not the nicest pass to Moimoy, and he wears 3 Tigers defenders for his troubles.
Let it come.
Ravatu is trying to slow that one down a little bit. Now they go to the left side. Here's Winchester, who gets the offload to Van Brecht. The call is back. He still holds on to it. Ball. Shift it through the hands. Dowd gets the offload. There's Fiddick. They move it once more. Running away is Pritchard. Pritchard's running strong. Back in the middle, Winchester selflessly offloads, finds Dobb. And Dobb gets up and goes again. Dobb!
Got to finish those tackles. Carter will be filthy with himself that he didn't bring him down.
Taumata sends it out once more. They've got numbers pulling away. Menzies in the corner. And Bond reeling the Tigers in. They're trailing 23 points to 27.
And is now 23 points.
Bond going sideline to sideline there in a couple of phases.
Sam Dobb, the architect there, not quite finished off on the tackle, carried again.
Dobby.
Dobby getting there.
Dobby the scrum elf. Great run, gets up, goes again. And then, exactly, they're moving it side to side. Great vision from Taumata. And selfless passing puts it into the hands of Menzies, who just has to dive at that corner, and another 5 points. They're liking that far side of the field today.
Yeah, they are definitely going from flank to flank and liking using the width of Shark Park here. Dion, interestingly enough, the choice for kicker over Harry now, whether Harry's chosen to pass over the tee.
Taumata looking for his first. And he won't find it. But Bond bring it back to a 4-point ball game, trailing 23 points to 27. Substitution now for Bond. Callum Ball leaving the field, and running on will be Alex Halverson. Pills sends it just over, and Nusafora took a knee to take that one and gives it back to his mate Taumata, who puts a heavy torp onto that one. So the Tigers of the line out just inside Bond territory. Leeming safe at the front.
Going short again there, consistent.
Gordon puts his head down and he strides up and charges in. Oh, and it's a great hit, and they've come up with the turnover. Now Bond rallying.
Good interchange of passing there.
And penalty going against them. Mears Erasmus, these two substitute front rowers said are having a massive impact since their inclusion into the game.
Yeah, definitely. Mears he started off a bit shakily there in the first couple of scrums, but he's come back to hold his own, and obviously Dobby
the scrum
a couple of strong carries there that's obviously led to the first points for Bond in the second half.
Mate, hero of Harry Potter, hero of the Bond side.
Are we sure Mears Erasmus isn't a distant relative of Source? Very similar.
No comment. A bit better there from Winchester. Good strong run from Pritchard. Really Andy's up for it. Halverson gets himself right into the thick of it. Advantage given to Bond yet again. Taumata, cut out, pass out wide, running onto it. Menzies is hunting, Menzies is looking. Menzies will find! Wowee! You see those Hail Mary passes going up from Dion Taumata, and you wonder what he's thinking. And he's fine. He's on the mark today, gentlemen.
Absolutely. Menzies finishes there, but again, great build-up and lead-up work from the Bond forwards. Pritchard with the first run, and then they could really work off that platform that the forwards have provided there.
Still had a bit of work to do here, Ryan Menzies, and first came back in Premier Rugby in 2019. He's got a double.
Yeah, definitely. Bond are using their substitutions well, and as I mentioned, they've had a complete turnover now of the front row. Harry's gone back to kicking this. I'm not sure what they're doing with the kicking duties at the moment between he and Dion. They might be scissor, paper, rocking to see who kicks. But at the end of the day, with that try, they've taken the lead as it stands anyway. But we'll look to add the two, so they've got a nice little 3-point buffer.
As you touched on, good impact from the bench. Alex Halverson there with his first touch, getting good go forward as well.
Now, Nusafora.
I think that'll be interesting as well to see how that plays out for the rest of this second half.
It's his first kick from the left-hand side. Nusafora, can they extend the lead that they've just found? And he'll be just short, not enough legs. But Bond take a 1-point lead, 28-27 in the 66th minute of our Newstead Brewing match of the round for the Hospital Challenge Cup.
No, if it's a penalty.
Fresh substitution, Preston Springall taking over kicking duties for the restart. Taumata doesn't hit that one the way he wanted to. And now the Tigers have spilled it forward on the kick return. Pills. Puts a very wobbly one in. Hunting for that sideline, and the wheels are wobbling a little bit. So now Bond will have a line out just inside their own half.
We touched upon the reserves coming on and giving great impact for Bond, and it's just interesting that East have only made the change in the forwards of just one player, with Aaron Sorodini on now as well.
Yeah, stay, good.
So they'll be looking to get some real fresh legs and some impact from their players as we go into this last
ricocheting kick there off the boot of Fiddick. Now, the return, Dowd. But I think they're going to come back. I think there was a little knock on.
Max thought it was missed. We go back from the scrum.
And average, gentlemen, like we talked about before this game, East are narrowly ahead, 24 points on average to Bond's 22. Current scoreline, I think, is living up to that.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what I said with the forwards. They give a lot of go forward for both these sides, and that flair and using the width of this field has been paramount to both teams scoring tries. Entertaining rugby game with high point scoring for the fans.
Bull Sharks coach Brad Harris won't be happy about the inability to exit after scoring points.
Stay up on the shoulder, okay? High lines, feet up.
Scrum on here, boys, we've got this.
Phoenix Hunt.
The battle of the two halves. I think Phoenix Hunt probably got the edge in the first half with some really good delivery out to his backs, and then we've got Noosa Fora now providing a great little platform for Dion in the backs to get ball.
It wasn't the best throw in by Hunt, but they've managed to make it work. Uru's at the back. Hunt pulls it out. Here we go. Pills. Good line by Gordon. Now Uru. Oh, he's got to be careful in there. Erasmus. Hunt goes quick. Gives it to Pills. Pills, not enough weight to go through Halverson.
Monstered on the try line there.
They look to the left. They've got numbers. One more. Hayes is there. Hayes is searching. Hayes is held.
Short. Probably the right decision to go straight away and take the quick tap, but I did think there'd be some consideration there for maybe taking the penalty 10 minutes to go. Eli Pills had a great run, really stopped in his tracks there from the Bond forwards, right on the line, and then Hayes gets held up just over. I know Matt Gordon will be in and around there looking to get his hat-trick in this second half as well.
Good desperation there from Jordan Hughes and Joey Fiddick to hold up East player over the line.
Well, we're approaching the final 10 minutes of play.
It's absolutely been a really interesting game because I do think Bond have had all of the momentum for this second half, or much of it anyway. Yet East find themselves with an opportunity here.
And Boot gives them the advantage. They're very close. Picks up, goes, and Uru gets it this time. Tom Milosevic couldn't steal this one from him.
And there it is for the Tigers, boys. Put them back in front with just over 10 minutes to play. Really, really good scrum and forward momentum there. And again, that's interesting because they've really got the same front row. I think that, as I said, Sorodini's come on, but much of the same front row and providing all that forward momentum for the boys.
It's kept a strong game for Siruera, line breaks with his running, and then a strong pick off the back there of Meat Pie.
Well, he's been a handful for the Bond players all day.
You'd say he's led from the front, but he's led from the back in this instance, at the back of the scrum.
students are walking.
Well, you could say he led from the front of the backs. You know.
Conclusion of this match.
Yeah, he's, as we mentioned, strong, dynamic, good hands, great awareness, and good for a line break as well.
And he'll play it cool and won't give us a smile at the camera either.
Now back to Pills. Pills. Oh, he gets the left one. Harry Nisfora gets the right, he gets the left, and it's his first miss, but East have retaken the lead. They're only ahead by 4, 32 plays 28, with about 8 minutes and change remaining in the second half. Taumata drops it just ahead of the 22, and the kick return was healthy from East. So Bond back playing in their half of the field, line out to come. Scores are tight, time is running out.
Sure, an East supporter, you breathe a little bit easier knowing you're at the right end of the field.
And if you're a Bond supporter?
We've got to work ahead of us.
Oh, and Breck just holds on. Long place. Yusufora at the back. Oh.
Erasmus with the little bobble, manages to pull it in. Oh, another one.
Very flat-footed, this Bond backline, uncharacteristic of them.
Looking to start something from inside their own half, Bond. Here we go.
Taumata this time takes to the skies. It's fielded well.
By Preston Springhall there. And a kick. Good chase from the East players as well.
Taumata takes his time. Even though he had a couple of players charging in on him only metres away, that's a really great kick for touch.
Gordon questioning where Taumata was in position in the field. It's just inside the 22.
I think they were trying to claim that a Bond player had touched the ball before Dion picked it up. East line out being really solid at the front with Aidan Leamy. It's just had a field day there.
And the crowd's getting vocal here. Club rugby at its best.
And again, good.
Hunt.
Good pick, Seto.
Pills. Hayes. Udu now. He'll find a few metres across the advantage line. Suruvatu on the short side. Joey Fiddick was looking to try and strip it. There's Olsen, gets a great offload, but they couldn't hold on to it. And we'll take a moment here. If you're looking to impress but need the car to match, head on down to Bond's major sponsor, Bruce Lytton Land Rover and Jaguar in Southport today. From Range Rovers to F-Types, they've got you covered. An East major sponsor, the Cromwell Property Group, are a trusted capital partner and fund manager to a range of global and local investors. With their strong track record, have you considered investing with Cromwell?
East will look to continue that strong scrum they've had over the last 10, 15 minutes.
Bind! Set!
Coming off the bye for East now, fresh legs should be paramount.
Taumata files it through. A lapse in concentration. Dowd's got the pressure on. It's a foot race. Pulling Hayes was hunting. Good recovery by Hughes, but there is a wall of blue and gold stripes on top of them. Bond find themselves right with their back to the line. Nusafora goes for the box kick. Oh, and there was people everywhere. And Erasmus has ended up with it. Erasmus drops Liam Mataenga
And there's another kick from Nusafora that's touched. And tired bodies on the field, producing a mixed result.
Yeah, a bit of desperation from both sides there.
Erasmus just said, sweet, got the ball, off I go. Now Winchester needs to get this one straight. Van Breck takes it. Now Taumata.
Screaming at the back, Taumata wanted that ball. Nice and quick, here we go, through the hands.
Bond moving it well. They've gone from sideline to sideline in one phase. Very tidy, and now they've gotten a penalty. So big opportunity with just under 4 minutes remaining.
Captain.
So referee looks to have a chat with
Over the top
East.
now, Matt. It's over the top.
Good field position here for the Bond Bull Sharks to launch an attack.
You dare say, gents, they're getting close to maybe the last real good roll of the dice with possession and 2.5 minutes left.
It's probably fair to say the momentum's been with the Bull Sharks. With the Tigers the last 7 or 8 minutes, and if Bond don't capitalise here now where they are in a good position, it might be the breaking of the game for them.
Here's Dowd. Dowd tries to shimmy and shake his way through. Gordon's over it, and he enforces it. Massive moment by the captain.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we've mentioned earlier, both he and Nusafora have had their moments throughout the game to really assert themselves. But what a moment for Matt Gordon to jump in there in the ruck.
Alongside Tom Milosevic. But time is off. Filimoni Seravatu is down.
No, hang on. I understand you're frustrated.
And he doesn't look like he's
You got to set an example.
in a great way.
Right? But I understand you're frustrated. You just can't talk like that, okay?
Wait, this is the question to go.
Sorry? No, time's off, yeah.
And time is off. And while we've got a moment, Queensland Rugby is obviously bringing you, all the fans at home, our 4 matches every week, live and free. But this Hospital Challenge Cup match will be replayed on Fox Sports the coming Wednesday afternoon. Check your Foxtel guide to confirm the kickoff time. And what a big advance that's been for the competition over the last year, seeing the matches being replayed on Fox Sports, and predominantly on Wednesdays, and sometimes there was always an additional one maybe elsewhere in the week. But great signs that the competition is growing, and the coverage is just phenomenal.
Definitely, Marty. It's given an opportunity for a lot of our sort of club rugby aficionados to tune in on a Wednesday afternoon and get their serving of club rugby throughout the Queensland Premier Rugby competition. Just going from strength to strength, and the ability to offer those live streaming options as well for the fans at home is just excellent.
It's great exposure for a quality product, so hats off to the QRU and Fox.
Big scrum from the tight. Pook hasn't. There it is. He's given the advantage after about 10 metres of marching. Loose out the back.
I think that was a bit of frustration there from Aaron Nusafora.
That East scrum, they're managing to just get the momentum and turn it around each time.
The East set piece has been pretty solid today for them. You know, their line out, we were calling it to the front, but even their options and throws to the back have been pretty strong, and then that scrum's been fantastic for them.
And that is full time here, and the Tigers have come away with a memorable win. It doesn't go without saying, though, Bond put up a hell of a fight, took a late second half lead, and then they're still going to get the bonus point, but ultimately the victors are the Tigers. And Sedu, what were your thoughts on the match? Where did people win it, and where did they lose it for the teams?
Yeah, you just touched upon there, Sedu. I think the set piece was really strong for the Tigers in the second half. They made some smart decisions around going to the line out and going to the scrum. Interestingly enough, Bond actually scored more tries, but the boot of, as I said earlier, Eli Pills has really become integral to the victory there for the Tigers. So kicking all but one, really important to the scoreline.
Well, it would have been a different story if Bond had a higher completion rate. With that, and Seti, the backline for Bond last year, they were one of the best out there, and even today they looked really good. Where to from here? Obviously, we've got the Easter break, but then what's going to be next for Bond?
Well, they'll probably take a good couple of weeks now. They've got the Easter break as well as the competition bye. So I know the result today was really important for them to go into their break with 2 victories and 2 losses under their belt, but it's not meant to be. But they'll take the 2 weeks to obviously lick a few wounds, get injuries right. It allows for someone like Corbin, who's carrying serious injury, 2 weeks. That's just going to give them more time to be able to rehab those key people and get them back into the mix.
And now, obviously, big win for the Tigers. That moves their season to 2-1 with the bye coming up. So a pretty good result for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as we mentioned with the forward pack, it was really interesting because we had 2 of the 3 front rowers in Richards and Van Neck finish out the game and play the full 80, which is really very rare, I suppose, at this level of rugby that you can have your front rowers play 80. So that was integral. But the guys will be now fresh. They've come off the bye. They had an opportunity to reinvigorate and refresh last week, and now we'll go into the Easter break and have a nice little week off as well.
Yeah,
so,
a lot of chocolate probably for the front rowers, getting the chockies
like
on and off the field. Now let's have a look around the grounds. Let's see how things have panned out, and it has been a landslide of an afternoon over for the Western Derby. Gentlemen, West's getting the victory, 63 points to 23. 70 to 21, that's even more so. I didn't see the latest update. 70 to 21. That's a landslide.
Yeah, wow. That goes, I mean, again, we haven't obviously watched the game, but yeah, Carter Gordon's there. So he might have 20 or 30 points off the boot. Effie Mafu, again, assuming that he's been really integral to that win. That'll have to be UQ's biggest loss in a long time. A long, long time.
Yeah.
49
I
points.
can't. Probably before there was even, computers.
Yeah.
And Jeeps, obviously the reigning premiers, getting the victory over at Chipseywood, 24 to 14 in the Battle of the North. Right now, I think Brothers looking like Jon Snow, if I have to be honest.
Yeah, Brothers, I mean, they're the competition front runners at the moment. I know they were disappointed with their performances towards the end of last year, but they've recruited well, they've promoted within their squad well, and adding Rod Saib as well as the coach has just been super impressive from Brothers. So I think they are definitely the team to watch and beat at the moment and look to consolidate.
Well, gentlemen, it's been an absolutely massive afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us, and hope to see you again on the stream soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, Marty. And
100%. Thanks for having us. Enjoyed it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with Easter break just around the corner, we too here at Queensland Premier Rugby will be taking a break. Also returning in round 5 on Saturday, April 27th. From everyone here at Queensland Rugby, we wish you a great few weeks off. If you can make sure to tune in at 1:15 a.m. tomorrow morning to watch the St George Queensland Reds take on the Bulls in Pretoria. I highly recommend doing it. I'm Martin Lippiatt. Thank you and good evening.